So now let's have a look at the code. The first thing to see is that there are two files. One is the server and then is the client. So the client will make the request and the server will act on that request. So the first thing, as you can see, is we have imported the library socket. And as I mentioned earlier, it is essential. Now here we have created the DNS database. And in the earlier videos, I talked about the A and the C name. So as you can see, what I've done here is that I have written lakme.com. So it is the domain name. And what this A does, it maps this domain name to this IP address. And then the next step, as you can see, I have used CNAME. So what I mean by that is that whenever I type lakme.com, I'll be redirected to www.lakme.com. So this is the alias and this is the domain name. So this is the functionality of our address and CNAME. So now one might wonder how I'm getting these IPs. So one simple way to find out the IPs, if I'll open my terminal and if I'll write ns lookup lakme.com, so it will give me the IP of lakme.com. So hence this is how you can write the IPs. And then here we are handling the query. So what is the first thing, this decode? What this decode does is it converts the received bytes into string. Okay, so whatever bytes we are receiving, we are decoding it to string. And what the strip does, it removes the extra spaces or something that's uh, spam. So it removes that. Now what we are doing, so the client will send the query. So first we'll check if that query is present in our database. And if it is present, it will check if it has the address and if it will check if it has the associated CNAME and it will return that. Okay, as you can see, if it is found, then the response will be returned with that associated CNAME. And if it is not, then we'll write not found. And after we have received the response, we're again encoding it to send it to the client. And one other thing, okay, it will come on later. So here what we're doing is we're starting the server. So there are two things that I have used. There are two keywords that I have used. The first one is underscore inet. So what this does is that it specifies that we're using IPv4. And what this sock underscore dgram does, it specifies that we're using UDP as a transport protocol. And here we have used the host and port keywords, and here we have specified those host and port. All of these things I've explained in the previous videos. Host is the loopback IP and port 53 is the default DNS port. Now another thing to look from here is 1024. So this is the address at which the client and the server are communicating. So we are receiving a request from the client and then we are sending that request back. As you can see, where are we sending it? To the client address from where we received it. Now if I go to client.py, it's the similar code. So first we have imported socket uh, and here as you can see again af underscore inet and sock.dgram for IPv4 and UDP, and then we are sending here the query, right? And the host name dot encode, so which I hope you understand now that why we're using decode and encode to convert bytes to strings and string back to bytes. And now here we are receiving the query from 1024, which is the port they are communicating at. And this is the default port. We can increase this as well, but this is the default one. Again, here we have specified this, and then we have just here added the choice that if the person wants to continue. So what I'll do is I'll simply run the program here. So first thing it asks for the host name or the alias name. So what I'll do, I'll go back to server and these are all of my host names. So I'll just show you, I'll run it. So if I, let's say, write Lakme, we have already done Lakme. So let's say I'll write Nykaa.com. I'll press enter. So it will give me the IP of Nykaa.com. And now I'll show you how I have used CNAME. I'll continue, and if I write www.nykaa.com, again it will return me with the IP. So this is done with the help of CNAME, that we are associating the alias name with the host name. And now let's say I'll write something that does not exist, right? I'll say Mac. So it does not exist, and hence it will say not found. So here, as we can see that on this side we are receiving a lot of queries, and the first thing we see that the DNS server is running on this. So what this is the loopback IP along with the port. So I hope the code was easy to understand, as I've explained all the major concepts, and thank you for watching.